Hey guys, welcome back. A lot of the clients that I work with originally came to me because of physical symptoms, and that's because that's sort of what brought me to this exploration that we're in here. Back in late 2017, 18, 19, I dealt with a lot of chronic physical symptoms. And the thing that I hated the most about my physical symptoms was that every time they would kind of creep up on me, I would be filled with terror. It wasn't so much the symptoms themselves that seemed to create the suffering. It was this intense nervous system reaction, like this terror of symptoms. So, like the smallest thing. So, for me, as silly as it may seem, itching was like a thing. So, the tiniest itch would send my nervous system just reeling, and I would feel this like whoosh of terror at an itch. I intellectually understood how absurd that was. I mean, everyone itches from time to time. So I intellectually understood that it made no sense to have the level of fear and terror come up for something like an itch or something like if my face looked a little full, it would immediately register swelling, like in my mind, in my nervous system, and everything would like just ramp up in fear. Um, and so over time, as I actually learned that the fear itself was not something to be avoided, it naturally left me not so afraid of symptoms. And then last Sunday, I woke up, and this is just a few days ago, and out of nowhere, as I was still lying in bed, eyes asleep, I felt an itch on my stomach. Just an itch, no big deal. And yet, for the first time in a very long time, like 6 years, that old familiar terror, that fear rose up. And as that fear came up as I was lying in bed, the brain came in and did what the brain does. What if everything comes back? What if that means this? What if your symptoms are going to, like in a split second, it all came rushing back. All those old habitual thoughts, all that old fear. And I noticed something also habitual that I did in that moment while I was lying in bed. And I think it's so human and so just something we do. We've been conditioned to do it. I immediately went into the head and tried to rationalize. Oh, Missy, you're fine. This is no big deal. What are you worried about? I was doing all this self-talk to talk myself out of the experience of fear. And then all of a sudden, as happens by grace, I don't know how, I woke up to that. And I remembered what I had seen years ago. The fear that comes up when a symptom arises, so whatever your symptom of the day is, whatever your thing is that your nervous system just goes when you feel it, the fear itself, the terror itself is asking to just be seen, to be held, to be allowed back in to be reintegrated. When I woke up Sunday morning and came downstairs after that whole experience, I wrote the phrase, "Can I love the one who fears?" And everything in my body just softened. I wasn't trying to be equanimous. I wasn't trying to be like, oh, no big deal, symptoms. No, part of me in that moment was terrified. Part of me was afraid. And instead of trying to intellectualize my way out, I wanted to just ask the simple question, can I love the one who's afraid? Can I love the part of me who was afraid in that moment? And I didn't want the fear to run away. I wanted it to stay so I could get to know it. One of my favorite phrases right now is so I could disrobe it. I want the fear to come close enough now so that I can disrobe it, so that I can take away all the meaning and all the conditions and all the labels and everything I've learned about this energy. And then it can just be energy, life, aliveness. What if the very fact that symptoms that you have allows fear to rise up? What if that's like the most intelligent, amazing thing ever? So if you have a symptom, whatever it is, and when it occurs, your nervous system kind of ramps up in a moment of panic, fear, terror. What if that is one of the greatest opportunities ever? And what if the goal is not to learn to be okay with symptoms or not to have reactions to symptoms? What if instead we could have whatever reaction we have, but actually grow in our capacity to even include that? Even that reaction, that fear response is welcome. It's included. It does not need to be shunned and pushed away. We get to have those, and we get to keep having them until they are fully reintegrated back into who we really are. I hope this helps a little. I think most of us, at least the people I know, people I've worked with, were taught along the way. The goal is to learn to be okay with your symptoms. But what if that's not the goal? Thank goodness. You can have any reaction. Your body can rise up in terror, rise up in panic over a twitch, a stomach ache, a headache, an itch. And it's an opportunity for that response to be reintegrated. You are the space in which it will be reintegrated. Bring it close. See if you can disrobe it and find the aliveness, the life, the love underneath. I can't wait to come back and talk more about this with you next week. And this is exactly what we're going to be talking about in office hours on Thursday. So I hope you'll join us. Thanks, guys. Bye.